Now, our story begin in episode 7, where we would see Bulkhead and Bumblebee basically bringing a spaceport towards the base. And this is season 1, by the way. And they bring this spaceport towards the base and they leave it there and it melts down. Now, an energy blast comes out of the spaceport and it hits a wall, and then two bots basically rip apart the spaceport and come out. And one of them is like, huh, where the hell are we? And the second one is like, doesn't matter. This is probably a con base. We need to make sure that they don't know we're here. And both these bots basically are sneaking around because they're a bit confused about their environment, but they believe they've been captured by the Decepticons. So they're just sneaking around and just looking for signs that this is a Decepticon base. But then they would arrive towards like the ground bridge place or the main place where all the Autobots basically talk, have a good time, and all that. And they would see Bumblebee, Bulkhead, and Ratchet as RC and Optimus went on that mission and went to Antarctica? Yeah, Antarctica. Or was it the North Pole or the South? I'm not too sure, but I'm just gonna say Antarctica. And they go to that mission as usual. Now, Ratchet, Bulkhead, and Bumblebee are basically just talking, having a good time with the kids. Now, these two bots don't recognize them immediately and they immediately attack. One of them screams, Decepticons! Rushing in and tackling down Bulkhead, while the other one quickly grabs Bumblebee by the neck and slams him on the wall and then points a gun straight at Ratchet and is like, now you cons don't have a chance to escape. But then Bulkhead basically is like, get off me. And then he turns around and recognizes the bot and he's like, Impactor? Is that you? Wait. Bulkhead? Hearing this, Ironhide will turn towards Impactor and Bulkhead. And then he recognizes Bumblebee and Ratchet and is like, oh, Doc and Kid. Oh, my bad. As he puts down Bumblebee and points his gun down at Ratchet. And Arnad and Impact apologized. They didn't really recognize them. And Bumblebee's like in his blipping voice, wait, Arnad? Impactor? I thought you guys died a few years ago. What happened? And Arnad and Impactor explained they were ambushed by a very very annoying Decepticon, but they accidentally crashed into Antarctica. And they had another team. They're not too sure where their team crashed. Maybe in Antarctica or another location. They're not too sure. As they were accidentally shot off and managed to get in a spaceport that was drifting into space. Yes, drifting into space. And they got inside and they landed here by mistake. And yeah, that's pretty much the story basically. And Miko, along with Raphael and Jack, are very interested and ask who they are. And Bulkhead explains who they are. Both of them are wreckers like him. And Aranad is one of the lieutenants of the wreckers, and Impact is one of the sergeants. And both of them are one of the most dangerous. Both of them are literally the most dangerous out of all the wreckers, and they're top tier. They're like close to Megatron and Optimus Prime levels of strength. Hearing this, Miko is just ecstatic and starts talking to them. Now, Ironhide is like, ugh, chill, kid. Dang, I didn't know someone can talk this loud, even this long in my life. Like, dang, she can't keep her mouth shut. Impact is like, aw, she's so cute. I want to squish her. And then Bulkhead looking at him like, what? Like, not squish her, like how I do to cons and make them into a pile of scrap. Like, how could I explain this? I mean, pinch her. Yeah, basically, I just want to pinch those little cheeks. But I'll probably crush them, so bad idea. Yeah, yeah, that's a bad idea. And Optimus and RC would come back to base and see basically Impact and Ironite. Now you see, since there's no scrap, it's like I remove them. Um, they come like way earlier. And Optimus seeing Impactor and Ironite is very shocked, but also ecstatic because now he has two extra warriors who are extremely powerful. And they catch up and all that, and that'll be the end of episode 7. We skip to episode 8, and that episode does go the same. But there is going to be some changes. With Impact and Ironite being here, who have also fought alongside with Wheeljack, do realize something is a bit wrong. Mostly impacted since he's been with Wheeljack for possibly the longest, maybe even longer than even Bulkhead. And he's like, huh. And he's like to his friends Arnett and Bulkhead, huh. There's something a bit weird about Jackie to you guys. Yeah, Jackie's acting a bit weird. I don't know what's going on with him. And Ironite says there's only two possibilities. Either he has short term memory or that's the Decepticon pretending to be an Autobot. And hearing this, Bulkhead and Impact are like, well, mostly Bulkhead. What? Impact is like, huh, that does make sense. Wait. Bulkhead saying, so you're saying Jack is a Decepticon? No, it's a Decepticon shifter. Wait. Do you remember Makeshift Impactor? Yeah, that con snuck in and pretended to be one of our record buddies, right? Yeah. No, he couldn't have survived. I'm pretty sure we might have killed him. He was buried in rubble, so they probably found his body and he was possibly still alive, so there's a 50-50 chance. Huh, you're right. You know what? Let's make sure. Bucket question him. Question him what we did back in Tiger Packs. Bucket like, say less. And he does that. And reports back to Bulkhead. I mean, no, Ironite and Impact. Not Bulkhead, I'm sorry. But yeah, Bulkhead reports back to Ironite and Impact. And Impact and Ironite look at each other like, yep, that's makeshift. Yeah. So what should we do? What can we do? But what about Wheeljack? They probably didn't kill him. I mean, why would they? Even this Bulk is like, hopefully. Maybe we can question him. Yeah, that's a good idea. So Impactor walks towards Wheeljack, or should I say a makeshift Wheeljack. And he's like, hey Jackie, it's been a while, and proceeds to just punch him straight in the face, knocking him out. The other Autobots are confused along with the humans. And then Ironhead along with Bulkhead all come behind Impact and explain that it's makeshift. Hearing this, Optimus asks if they're sure. And Impact is like, we know him. We've been fighting with him for years, Optimus. So don't question us that easily, boss. Hearing this, Optimus is like, fair enough, fair enough. And with that, they basically tie up and put makeshift in cuffs and start questioning him once he wakes up. He's like, oh, what happened? And then we just see Impact's basically flicking his head. Wakey, wakey. Time for questioning, makeshift. Hearing this, makeshift looks up surprised and is like, you guys figure it out? Yeah, you're literally pretending to be a wrecker. A guy who I fought for like how long? Was it like 500 megacycles? And then Miko's like, megacycles? And Bumblebee in his bleeping voice tells Raphael, and then Raphael tells Miko, he basically means 500,000 years or something. Hearing this, Miko's like, oh, that's a long time. And hearing this, Makeshift's like, what do you mean? It's me, your friend Wheeljack. Really? Then explain to me what we did back on Iacon when the Combaticons were basically raiding the place. And hearing this, Makeshift makes up a lie, and then Impact is like, no, 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 no. That's not what we did. And then proceeds to punch him in the face. And he's like, and he says, now I know you're not Wheeljack. Because he would have remembered every detail about that. Because I told him. and also he was never there. Hearing this, makeshift is like, oh scrap, he played me. And then Impactor comes close to him and he's like, uh, what can I do to you? The tortures are endless. Ooh, where should I start? But then Anna grabs him on his shoulder and pushes him away and is like, let me talk to him. And Anna goes on one knee and comes close towards Makeshift. And he's like, where the hell is Wheeljack? And he on this Makeshift is like, Starscream put him in a prison. I don't know what he's doing to him. So he's still alive. Yes. Ah. Say less. Optimus. Rescue Sam. You better give us the coordinates towards the Sericon base, or else Impactor here is gonna do a lot of horrible things to you. Trust me. Out of all the Autobots, he's one of the most psychopathic. If not, he's probably the most psychopathic. Besides a few. But yeah. So, do you want torture or do you want to give us information? And make shift in his mind. Suffer or give them information? And he chooses to give them information and tells them, gives them location. And everyone is prepared to go rescue Wheeljack, but then Wheeljack comes through the ground bridge because remember, Wheeljack still saves himself and all that. And Wheeljack will see Makeshift, and he's like, ah, Makeshift. Ah, there you are. Oh, are you gonna get the beating of your life? As Wheeljack, before like seeing Impactor, Bulkhead, and Ironhide, proceeds to just beat on Makeshift, like beats, bloody mess, energon all over his arms and chassis, and everyone is like, "Oh my gosh!" But then Optimus grabs him and is like, "That's enough." Ah, you're right, and proceeds to just grab Makeshift and put the grenade like he did in Cannon and throw him in. Yeah, that still happens, and yeah, basically, and we would see Wheeljack talking towards Impact and Ironhide, and he's like, "Huh, I'm glad to see you two. Yeah, it's been a long time since seen you guys, like a long time. Yeah, it's been long, but it's good to see you, Jackie. Yeah, are you gonna stay with us? Uh, I'm not too keen on following orders of Optimus." Anna is like, Optimus may be a bit soft, but to be fair, you want him to be like Megatron. Fair enough, fair enough. But and then Impact is like, Jackie, you got us. You have Bulkhead, you got me, you got Iron Man. What more? What more do you want? And besides, this is a war. We need everybody. And here in this, Will Jack's like, all right, fine, I'll join, but I'm gonna do things a bit my way. Good enough for me? And I was like, say less. And Bulkhead is like, this is gonna be interesting. And yeah, that's the end of episode 8. And we would skip to episode 9, where we would see the Autobots basically protecting the Dingus and Starscream sending Seekers, and that episode plays out the same. Yes, there's more Autobots, but nothing much changes. I can't change much about that. Come on, fam. Like, well, what can I change about that? So, the Autobots are killing them easier. Optimus never gets knocked out by a Vehicle, saves the train, and yada yada yada. But yeah, I can change much. I can't change much. But yeah, episode 10 though, interesting. Now, Bulkhead goes on that mission with Miko, but he will have Wheeljack as a partner or a backup. And they would fight Breakdown, who sneaks attack Bulkhead and him and throws them, basically grabs Bulkhead like he did in Cannon and throws him towards the painting, ancient graphics, yeah, something like that. Ancient graphics, yeah, something like that. And Wheeljack fights him, but Breakdown manages to smack him away and escapes. And we would just basically skip towards the museum fight where they're trying to get the Energon Harvester, and yeah, basically that scene kind of plays out the same, kind of, but yeah, basically. And the Autobots, actually, they did better than they did in Canada because Optimus never got electrocuted by knockout. Why? Because the Autobots, yes, there's more stealth, but yeah, They're not that type of stuff. And besides, there's like an Autobot, well, two Autobots missing, which is Ratchet and Impact. Oh, I forgot to mention this, but Wheeljack, Impact, and Ironhind all scan their own vehicle forms thanks to Agent Follower. Now, um, Ironhind scans the form he always has. It's a truck, yeah, something like that, yeah, something like that. He scans that kind of truck thing he has, that kind of hmm, what can I say? The kind of vehicle he has usually in the movies and the vehicle he should have had in the show. But yeah, he basically scans that truck thing. I forgot what they are called. I think it's a yeah, it's a truck. Yeah, it's a truck. Yeah, and we would see an impactor basically scans a tank because remember he's always a tank and Wheeljack scans the same vehicle form and yeah, basically. And yeah, but yeah, Impact is not there because he's a tank, and the Autobots are more in disguise. But yeah, and we would see Bulkhead obviously going to get the Energon Harvester so he can help Miko because Miko still got captured by the security guard. Ah, Miko. And yeah, and along with Impact's Wheeljack and Iron Knight who come in to help him, and with the help of them, he manages to get it. But the thing is, they never destroy it because he has extra Autobots helping him, and all of them are wreckers. So yeah, he it's never destroyed actually. So the Autobots actually have an artifact way earlier than they did in the original timeline. They have the Energon Harvester, and they just make a replica of it and just bring it back towards the museum, and they leave the real one in their base. And yeah, that'll be the end of episode 10. Episode 11 plays out the same. Episode 11 completely plays out the same. I'm not gonna lie. That episode is the same. Jack racing, who's this Vince, and using Bumblebee as his car in the racing scene, and trying to impress Sierra. Yeah. But now we will skip to episode 12, where we would see Impactor and RC along with Jack walking together. As RC went on that mission and she obviously brought Jack. But Optimus decides to bring one of the wreckers to help her basically. And the only one that's there currently is actually Impactor, as Arnold along with Bulkhead and Wheeljack went on a mission, and Bumblebee and Optimus along with Ratchet are also gonna go on a mission. And who's managing the ground bridge? I would say it's Raphael because Raphael's smart. Raph is smart. He's smart, so it makes sense, obviously. And he does that a bit earlier. Wait, yeah, he does it earlier than he did in the original timeline. Nice. And with that, we would just have Impact and RC as they are busy walking. And RC is just quiet as Impact is busy talking about how strong he is, how tough he is, um, and basically explaining his kill count, basically, saying he killed a lot of the Decepticons, tons of them, the toughest of the tough, and he almost even killed Torn, and he says you almost killed Torn, one of Megatron's most dangerous weapons, actually, and soldiers. And as he's busy gloating about himself, all C picks up something on that radar she had, and here, along with her and Impact to go, and she recognizes the ship, and she obviously has that face that oh my gosh, this is not good, that face, and Impact to like, what's wrong with you? And RC does explain, and he's like, oh, her, oh. Hmm. Wait, didn't she kill your partner? Hearing this, RC just gets mad but just keeps quiet. And Impact is like, oh, dang. Fair enough. And they would just work together basically. They split up and go basically to find Arachnid. Now, RC finds Arachnid like she did in Canon, and Jack does come. Now, Arachnid still webs up RC, but you see, someone was watching the fight, and he was like, huh, that was boring. And that's Impact, who quickly sneak attacks Arachnid and proceeds to grab her and slam her on the ground. Now, Arachnid does try to fight back, but yeah, she losing. Thing is, RC and her like either on the same level or RC slightly above her because RC is always putting hands on her. But that's usually RC just being mad, so yeah. But this is Impact. If anybody has seen anything about this man, you know he's quite strong. And like I said, he's close to the level of Optimus and Megatron. Yes, he's weaker than them, but I said he's closer. So yeah. And Arachnid can't even kill like who's this? Soundwave. And Wheeljack can probably do that. And since Impact is actually slightly above, if not a bit more above Wheeljack. Yeah, she's literally like he's basically like Soundwave, but if he had more physical strength and all that. So yeah, he basically beats Arachnid. And he proceeds to basically release RC from her restraints, or well, not restraints, from the webs. Yes. And he grabs Arachnid, throws her straight towards RC, well, towards RC's legs, and he's like, "So, are you gonna kill her?" And RC looks straight at Impact and is like, no, she can't even fight back. And then Impact is like, wow, I thought you wanted to kill her so badly. RC gets mad from this comment and screams that she does want to kill her. And then Impact is like, so do it. But then RC's like, but Optimus would not wouldn't like it. And then Impact rolls his eyes and is like, yeah, but if we capture her, what's the chances she won't escape? Think about it. And hearing this, Aussie's like, true. But Jack, who's like has more of a moral compass, does try to argue. But then Impact says something that should have been said. Who allowed you to come in this conversation? But then Jack is like, this is my planet. This is not your war. Impact is dang it. Impact says. And Impact does say something interesting. When have you guys ever helped as much? All I see you do is just be there, be annoying, and not do much. So that small kid, Raphael, yeah, he's doing way more than you and that girl, basically. You two are not really helpful much. Here in this, Jack is like, fair enough, and just backs off. And then Impactor walks straight towards RC and comes behind her, and he whispers something. Wasn't Tailgate like this? He couldn't fight back. He didn't have the chance to defend himself. She didn't even allow him to speak or do anything, right? So, what's the difference here? Here in this, RC will get flashbacks, and it actually works. RC immediately takes out her gun and she's about to kill Arachnid. And Arachnid begs. And RC's hesitating, but then Impactor says something. She didn't Tailgate didn't even have the chance to beg and she killed him. What's the difference here? Like I said, nah, Optimus may believe everyone can change, but he's naive. Or should I say he's just too much of a moral compass. He's too much of a he's too much of a boy scout, you can say. Why would you allow her to live? Don't you want to get revenge? Optimus will probably allow her to join. And hearing this, Arcee's like, nope. And proceeds to just shoot Arachnid straight in the head, killing her. And Jack sees this and is a bit shocked and kind of horrified. But then Impactor would come towards Jack, and he's like, if you knew what she did to her RC, you wouldn't even care much if she died or not. Hearing this, Jack looks at Impactor. And the thing is, Jack wants to say he's kind of a manipulator for that, but then he's like, I don't really know what happened to RC. And yeah, that's basically it. Basically, I would have to end this part right now. Yeah, peace. Oh, but I want to end it like this. The Autobots, well, not the Autobots, Impact and RC basically take Arachnid ship back towards base. And Jack does not report it to Optimus because he does want to snitch on RC. And RC is actually happy. I would say this. She's actually happy. And Impact has a smile on his face because he got a corn killed. And yeah, that will be the end of this part. Peace.